obviously already nursed. She's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
She feels, I mean...
She's adorable. So cute.
Someone once told me that we live in the banana belt of Idaho. I don't know what that means, because we've had a different winter every year that we've owned our land. The very first year that we moved to Idaho, even before we purchased our land, while we were living in town, we maybe got a total of 6 inches of snow over the entire winter. The year after that, after we'd purchased our land, we had record-breaking snow in town. There was about a 2-month period where we stopped trying to get up to our ranch to do any work because there was so much snow. Then the snow melted so fast that we had record flooding all over the county. All over the country, if not the world right now, people are experiencing unfamiliar changes in the weather. I have many family and friends in these areas. People are dealing with unfamiliar temperatures that in our neck of the woods are an everyday occurrence. But because these areas don't typically get down below zero, they now have broken pipes, and in some cases they don't have an ability to heat their home because their utilities are off, and as a result, people have died. Again, I feel like this is a really good opportunity for people to reevaluate their situations and potentially make changes to get more prepared. It's like a 4-foot drop.
I could probably climb back up.
Yeah, no, you're going to rip my gutters off. Let's not do that.
Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, come back, don't come around no more. Trouble, stay away from my door. Never stay away from my home. Never stay me free from your spell. Satan, keep me free from your spell. Satan, go on back unto the gates of hell. Satan, keep me free from your spell. Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, stay away from my door. Trouble, go on back, don't come around no more. Trouble, stay away from my door.
There was no snow on my truck last night when I went to bed. In the last 3 days, we've probably gotten 30 inches of snow. Rhett and I shoveled the roof off, a day ago. I just had to walk down to fire up the generator on the shallow well, and the snow was to my hips. I'm about to go plow for the 3rd day in a row. I spent almost 5 hours yesterday plowing. I'll probably spend every bit of a couple of hours today. This is the kind of storm that causes you to reevaluate and reconsider, meaning how prepared are you? I broke the front steering linkage on the Ranger, trying to clean up the snow around where we parked right here last night. It's just a hot mess, I guess, as usual, but this is one of those moments. The kids this morning got stuck on the way to school. We have way more snow up here than they do in town, but I've been trying to find a skid steer forever, and this kind of confirms that not only do I need a skid steer, but I need a snow blower on that skid steer. Not so much for the road, possibly just for backup on the road, but mainly for right here. We have such a small area to park in. I need to be able to put the snow in a place where it's not going to hurt anything. And this snow is not fun snow for the moment because it's so fluffy and so dry that it just, there's no bottom to it. So we've got 2 snow machines that are stuck up on the hill. Anyway, you know, we need it. I was complaining a couple of weeks ago at how little snow we have, and now we've got it. We've got all the snow we need. But again, every year we live this lifestyle, it seems we're given opportunities to just reevaluate how prepared we are and what more we can do. And this is just a confirmation that I need to get, you know, like I said, a skid steer, possibly even some other equipment, just to kind of be prepared. If this plow truck went down right now, we'd be in a world of hurt. So I'm off to go plow. we have had probably close to another 8 inches of snow at least since I plowed yesterday. Rhett and I finished shoveling off both of the roofs at about 5 o'clock yesterday. I jumped in my truck and took my brother down to the airport a couple hours away, and nearly wrecked my truck twice. It was snowing so hard and the roads were so bad. Got home and it just let loose, and so rarely do I have to plow day after day like this, and it looks like we got another couple days of this, so it's kind of disheartening when I've got other things I need to do, but and I still got the busted window in the plow truck as well, so keep the heater on high and just get after it. So okay, I just called Cedar and she is getting my truck and we're gonna jerk it out, hopefully, if all goes well here. So. You think you can turn it around? We need to turn it around and try and winch me straight out so I don't hurt the fence.
Backwards?
Yeah. This thing down the hill a little ways and give me some room, and I think I can get out. Come here, Ruby. Not happening?
That's crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's just like, because it's north facing, I think it just never melts. Some years back, while Cedar and I and the kids were living in Snowflake, Arizona, there was a winter where the temperatures got down to 25 below zero. There was about a 2-week stretch where it seemed like the daytime highs maybe got a little bit above zero, but every night as the temperatures went down, it was again below zero. Snowflake is in a region of Arizona near the White Mountains where they commonly have cold temperatures, but not this kind of cold. We had our plumbing company at the time, and our phone began ringing off the hook with people in need of help because of broken pipes. I can remember one particular job where I had to get into the crawl space of a guy's home to fix the broken pipe because he happened to go out of town on the weekend that the temperatures got very low. And when I pulled the access panel to get into the crawl space, there was over 6 inches of water standing in the crawl space that I would have to crawl through, then lay down in order to get access to the broken pipe and fix it. I ended up leaving my truck running in the driveway. I put my snow bibs on, then worked my way back into the crawl space while my legs and my hands were getting soaked. I took the parts that I needed to fix the broken water line. I laid down on my back in that water, fixed the water line, found my way back out, and before I could get to my truck, all of my clothes were frozen. I sat in my truck for about 45 minutes warming up, but a few days later, that water line broke again. This happened over and over that winter. People were just simply not prepared for the kind of cold that they were dealing with. The truth is, we're still behind here at Red Poppy Ranch as far as total inches of snowfall for the year is concerned. The problem we're having is we're getting all of that snow at one time. This again provides an opportunity for me to figure out what I can do to be better prepared for next year. The solution that I've come up with so far is not only to have a better plow truck, but to also have some backup equipment like a skid steer, possibly with a snowblower, so that regardless of how much snow we get, we can handle it. More than likely, I'm going to take the front porch down, rebuild it, change the angles on it, do the same on the back roof, so I never have to worry about how much snow was piling up on the front or the back ever again. While Rhett was helping me shovel off the front porch, I told him this was likely something we would do over summer, so I don't have to rely on him and or the grandkids as I get older. He said he would happily do it. My response was I would rather be prepared for whatever comes than have to deal with the current situation we have.
We're going to talk a little bit about preparedness today because there's been a lot of drastic things that have happened in the United States over the last couple weeks. And with us, we've had more snow than we've ever had before. Heath's been plowing all week. And so we just want to talk about a few things that we've learned, because we have learned the hard way, because we have chosen this life that we live. We have definitely learned the hard way. We have lived without power. We have lived without water. We, I guess not propane yet. So no, but these little things we have dealt with firsthand. And so let's talk about that a little bit.
I feel like when these things happen, when somebody loses their power and they don't have the ability to heat their home, I feel like things get real primitive real quick. And by primitive, it comes down to what do you really need in your life? And most of the time it's food and water, shelter, and staying warm and being semi-comfortable. If you have those things, everything else is a luxury. And so in our situation, because we chose to live remotely and independently from any power company, all of that stuff falls back on me as the husband, as the father, as the provider, as the protector. So I don't have an option to point at somebody else to help me. This is why we have enough propane to get us completely through winter and even into summer. But even still, I'm probably going to put another 1,000-gallon propane tank in. We have taken steps. We have lived this life for a long time, meaning we didn't just, when we moved up here, start keeping extra food around. We've always been this way. It was how we were both raised. Our grandparents are great. I've talked about this before. This is not something that all of a sudden one day I went, hey, I got an idea. Let's keep enough rice and beans around to keep the kids happy and healthy.
And candles. I've always had a fetish for candles.
That's a whole other conversation.
They have come in handy many times lately.
yeah. But so a little over a year ago, more than that, it seems like, how long ago? When we first ran out of water, it was because we didn't have enough sunlight. 3 to 4 days of sun. I did not have the inverter, the very specific inverter that was required to plug my generator into it. So I had to have that overnighted to us by RPS, Rural Power Systems, and it took a few days to get here. Now, because we're familiar with this thing called going a few days without the sun, we have backups. So this week we ran out of water again. No big deal. I have to walk down to the shallow well, flip 2 switches, fire up the generator, walk back up. But there's so much snow down there that my first time I went down there, the snow was past my thighs, and I was out of breath by the time I got back up here.
You're a tall guy, so that's a lot of snow.
and Cedar bought us both snowshoes this year. We had ambitions to go snowshoeing all over the mountainside. I broke those things out slapped them on, and of course it was much easier to get down there. So now I'm thinking I should have a pair of snowshoes for every one of my kids in case we ever had to hike out or something.
And this is also something you've discussed with Rhett, like he knows how to switch things over when they need to be. And
yeah, if I'm not here, I've shown him, look, you flip these 2 switches, you make sure there's oil in the generator, you fire it up. It's that simple. But there's still room for improvement. And so I guess you don't have to live off grid out in the middle of nowhere to have some backups. We have seen that in these areas where there have been power outages and people are literally in dire situations to the point where people have lost their lives. Now there's people taking advantage of those situations. A generator that would normally sell for $500 or $600 or $700 is selling for $3,000 and $4,000. A hotel that is normally $100 a night is now $1,500 a night.
And they're full. You can't even get a hotel.
Copper fittings to repair your broken water line. Not only can you not find it, but you can't find the plumber
to even come and help you.
Come and do it. And so every time something like this happens, even in our situations, we've had close to 3 feet of snow this week. In my head, I go, I should have a backup for the snow plow, whether that's a skid steer. It's probably going to be a skid steer and a snow blower.
You also have to have gas for the generator and for the snow plow. So
we don't keep whatever gas we have around here has to be ethanol-free gas because it lasts much longer. It'll store for over a year. I don't feel comfortable if I have less than 10 gallons of gas around here. I typically aim at about 20. I try to keep the plow truck always full.
Because you can't drive it into town with the chains on it.
It's not fun. But back to the simple things, by having a wood-burning stove in the front room, even if we did not have access to gasoline or propane, I've said this before, that wood-burning stove is going to keep my family warm. And if we had to, we could cook food on that stove.
Or melt snow or anything.
Yeah, I'm telling you, again, things get real primitive real quick. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is, we have lived this way for a long time. There is a video, there's an what's the show? Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe, where it's Depression era and things are so tight that he can't. One particular morning, it was literally like a slice of bologna or something that he gave to his daughter instead of eating it himself. And I don't ever want to be in that situation. I don't ever want to, I hope and I pray that that never happens. But long before I get to that point, we have taken measures to try and be out of to side skirt that, okay?
So like I said, we've chosen to live this lifestyle, and sometimes when natural disasters happen, you have no control over that. So as far as the physical preparedness, how do you mentally prepare for these kinds of things, and how do you mentally push yourself to get through the hard times? Because there's a lot of people struggling right now, and there's a lot of hard times, and they're like, what the heck, we weren't expecting this. So
I feel like oftentimes in the moment, it seems way worse than it actually is.
We've had to call, when we were out of water, call my friend and say, hey, can we come shower at your house?
Yeah.
Or, things like that.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Mm-hmm. I had to wash clothes at the laundromat because of water issues and power issues.
But I literally have this fear of not being able to feed my family. And so, if I have my health, if I'm above ground, I'm going to do whatever I have to do within reason to feed my family. Within reason. Okay, what does that even mean?
How do you mentally do that? How do you just wake up and
you take steps before it happens. I guess that's ultimately what we're talking about, is taking steps. Maybe having a generator out in the garage isn't a bad idea. Maybe keeping some gas around isn't a bad idea. Maybe checking on your neighbors isn't a bad idea. Earlier, I watched 5 guys on snow machines go up on the public land above our property. And about the time they should have been coming back, I know how long it takes to do what we call the loop. There's trails up there. About the time they should have come back, they didn't come back. So I waited because I was outside working anyway, and I began to get more and more concerned. I even went to the neighbors across the street and asked them, did you see those guys go back out? Did I miss them? And they also said, no, we think they could still be back in there. So literally, 45 minutes ago, when I was thinking either I should jump on the snow machine and go back in there, which I didn't want to do, because that I could easily make things worse because the snow is so deep back there. I'm literally contemplating whether I should call down the sheriff's office for search and rescue. All of a sudden they come putting out. And I could see one of their snow machines was struggling. It broke down literally right in front of our driveway down here. They got it going. But I could also see that they had been doing some digging. So one of the things that's top of my list right now that we don't have, we have a basic first aid kit, but we don't have a high-end first aid kit. And that's something that we're gonna add to the mix real quick. So anyway, every time this stuff happens, I feel like if it doesn't directly affect us, it's an opportunity to improve our position. So that would be our challenge to you guys, and we hope you're well. We hope you're doing fine. And we'll see you in a few days.